I really like accepted Christ when I was like 5. And as a kid, it was easy. Like, I was good until I hit about like 12. I was defiant. I kicked out of my grandparents' house, shipped here to live with my mom, who I knew nothing about sex, smoking, drinking before 21. I think the biggest impact that changed my life was when I got pregnant. Even then, it was easy to slip. I wasn't smoking, I wasn't drinking because I was pregnant, but still having sex, interacting with the wrong people to the point where it literally almost killed me. It was May 12th, 2013. I looked at him, and I've never been scared of anybody. He was still asleep, so you would think he was in a state of like peaceful rest. I just looked at him and I was like, I'm going to hell. I'm gonna die. After that, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I have my daughter around this. I can't be bringing people in and out of my life and in and out of her life, because I'm not going to die and leave her without a mother. I've listened to you and plenty of mentors like Sandra always telling me like the choices you make can kill you. It just hit me like there's an enemy, and he really does come to steal, to kill, and destroy. By killing, he does mean a literal death. And it took a lot of work. It took a lot of praying. It took a lot of time in worship. It took a lot of crying. It took a lot of anger to come out of feeling sorry for myself to actually change the choices I was making, not just for me, but for my daughter. I was pregnant with someone who I thought was the father of my child. And he randomly messaged me one day and wanted to come stay the night at the house. I proceeded to sneak out of my house about 11:30 at night to go pick him up. When we woke up, he was just kind of acting really funny, scoping out my house. He actually went as far as to line knives up on the kitchen counter. We had a watermelon right there on the counter that he would like poke at. He had made it a point to say repeatedly, don't tell anybody I'm here. But I knew at a bare minimum he was probably gonna rob me. He caught me on my phone. I was gonna put 3 people into a group message, and I knew that the 3 of them together could figure out how to, get help to my house before anything happened. I played it off like I was gonna be on Facebook to send a couple of business messages. I was selling jewelry at the time. He was like, well, let's make sure that's really what you're doing. And he put a weed cord around my shoulders, and it was draped like just like a necklace. He didn't have it tight or anything. And I was like, this isn't funny, so let's not do this. And he was like, well, if you're really doing what you said you're doing, it's not going to be a problem, is it? So I got on Facebook and I, sent a couple of messages letting people know that their shipments would be going out that day. And when I put my phone down, he jerked the cord up around my neck and just wrapped it and straddled my back. I'm grabbing, I'm like, this isn't funny, I don't want to play this game. He was like, say I'm sorry, say I'm sorry. At that point, I just kind of went unconscious. When I woke up, I was on my floor, and I was scared to move because I didn't know what had just happened. I didn't know if he was still in the house, sitting on my bed. I didn't know what had happened. I felt like paralyzed. I couldn't get up. I thought that, he had tied the cord around my neck and tied it to my bedpost. But I could tell the cord wasn't there, but I could just feel blood. And I had a dresser that had a big mirror. I see the blood, but I still can't comprehend what happened. I heard him coming up the stairs, and he told me, he said, don't move. Throw me my shoes, throw me my iPod, and do not get off your floor or I will kill you. He took my car and left. I'm pregnant. I was just unconscious. I need to get to the hospital, so I'm knocking on doors. Mind you, it's 10 o'clock on a Monday morning. Most of my neighborhood is at work. There was a car that drove down the street. I waved her down. She locked her doors and sped away from me. So at this point, I'm like, something is obviously really wrong. And I said, I'm gonna try the neighbor across the street one more time. And I just banged on her door. She opened the door, and I saw feet, just terror in her eyes. She looked at me and she was like, I can't let you inside. My kids are here. I was like, I just need you to call an ambulance. I've been just strangled. I'm pregnant. And he took my phone and my car. She said, no, baby, you didn't get strangled. You were stabbed. I was in shock, And she proceeded to call an ambulance, and Her husband called my mom. They took me to Baylor, Dallas. They've discovered like he didn't hit my windpipe, he didn't hit anything, and the doctor told me like it's almost like the knife once it touched my skin, because it went from front to back all the way through. He said it's almost like once the knife actually penetrated my skin, it turned rubber and curved around everything that it should have hit, and that I was literally less than a centimeter away from being found on my bedroom floor. It's still been very hard, but I do have authentic church, and I mean, as soon as I heard like you and Sandra were gonna open this place, and I was like, I'm going. Nobody knew how to talk to me anymore. Nobody really wanted to make eye contact with me anymore. And it was very much like they thought I was glass and could shatter at any minute. So I wasn't able to grow because I was so busy being babied by everybody around me. And so coming here to a church full of people who don't know my story, who don't know that I've been through even half of the stuff that I've experienced, has been an opportunity for me to really engage and connect and embrace the atmosphere that comes into this place. I can just be me. I don't have to be Nikki who almost died, or Nikki who came from this family full of dysfunction, or who has been into, in 2 different mental institutions. I don't have to be that person. I can just be Nikki, which is who I've been trying to be since the events of everything that's happened. It's just an atmosphere full of people who want to grow and who want to engage and who want to be closer to each other as well as being closer to God. It's really made my growth process personally and spiritually not necessarily easier, but definitely like more successful. I'm Nikki, and I'm an authentic person.